We take you till about 2. We'll be here for another 52 minutes, and then we got to head out to the afternoon practice. Go check out the West team, which, by the way, Tyler Huntley is going to join us. The quarterback from Utah will join us in the evening, around 5 to 7 today. I think right after that practice, we should be on right around 5 to 7, something along those lines. Really good interview so far with Kevin Davidson. And also with Michael Walker from Fresno State. Had a good time with those guys. Now we are going to do our weekly segment that we do with Manny Navarro, our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report with Manny Navarro. Yeah, there it is. It's all about the you. Oh, it's all about the you. There you go, Manny. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great. Oh, how are you?
Very good. Remember, you can follow Manny Navarro on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch his work there at The Athletic. And, of course, it's all brought to you by Caneswear at 2511 South University Drive in Davie. Plenty of Canes here, man. I saw Zoe talking with Dan Morgan, who works for the Bills. So we get some here. Now, talking about that, Manny, the story with Alonzo Highsmith, I got to tell you, I've changed my tune. From some of the stuff that I'm hearing, I'm actually liking the idea now of Zoe coming to the University of Miami. What do you think about that crazy idea?
About having him come to the University of Miami? I mean, who wouldn't want his experience and talent evaluation on staff? I think there's no question about that. I think the issue was always, how do you give him some power? How do you give him some say in what's going to happen with Miami? And my understanding from my previous conversation with Zoe was that's what he wanted. He wanted to be in a position where he could have some influence. And so unless things are changing behind the scenes where all of a sudden, people are willing to secede some power and to allow Alonzo to really put his fingerprint on things, then maybe things will be different.
Yeah, and we'll find out now from Zoe if, eventually he gets this gig. But I think it is a position that he will have power and he will have influence. And if that's the case, then I actually don't mind now that I'm thinking about it, because after kind of going over this stuff, Manny needs to be policed. And unfortunately, there were too many examples this year that showed that he wasn't prepared for this job. And so, you and I have talked about this. Blake is not really a guy that has a lot of football knowledge. So he needs somebody in there that has that football knowledge. The program needs that there, because Blake's really not going to know what's wrong unless it's so obvious. And you got to be good to know when things are starting to go awry so you can nip them in the bud. But only a football person is going to figure that out. That's the reason why, because there isn't another football person there that can answer to Manny.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that, look, again, the whole concept is, do you have enough football people in the building that can help Manny as a head coach? And we've talked about this 1,000 times on your show. This job is for a Jedi Master. The challenges that it brings, especially, the struggles that this program has been through the last 15, 16 years. Having a guy who knows what it's like to build a championship winner in place, either an athletic director role or a head coach role, is pivotal. And, Blake, as I've told you many times, his specialty is fundraising. He's not a football guy per se. But again, if you're going to bring Alonzo in, I don't think bringing him in as just, the whatever the title was, chief of staff for football, unless that position has some teeth and some say and he's able to have real influence, I just don't see what the benefit is, because, again, that position, chief of staff, essentially is like a secretary for Manny Diaz, a guy who handles a lot of the other stuff so he can go coach football. And so I don't know. I mean, I have yet to hear a breakdown, a power structure that works, in terms of what they're willing and accepting to do, to allow Alonso to come in and be the kind of guy that he can be and help this program. But I never hated the idea. I just always been I was the execution of it, of how that was going to work. And I think, of course it would help to have him in there. I mean, the guy has great relationships in the community. So you're talking about ways that he can help recruiting and convince parents that, hey, this thing really is headed in the right direction. We don't just have a rookie head coach here who's, learning through mistakes. We have an experienced guy. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons to like it. I never said I didn't like it for that reason. I just said I didn't think they could execute it because of the politics.
Yeah, and I didn't like it because I thought it was kind of a token position, but I don't think it's going to be a token position. And if it's not going to be a token position, then I'm good. Then I really like it because, unfortunately, Manny needs to be policed. And that's the reason why I'm at that point. It's not in a perfect world, I'd rather see Zoe stay in the NFL and hopefully get a GM job like he deserves. But if this is something where he's going to have influence and things aren't going well, he's able to make the changes that you need. Plus, let's say the Manny thing doesn't work out and you got to search for a new coach down the line, a year, 2 years, 3 years from now. Well, I'd rather count on Alonzo Highsmith to do that than anybody else in the University of Miami program. That's all.
I'm in agreement with you. I mean, again, it's almost though as you're breaking the traditional power structure. That,
yes.
Where you go from an athletic director and head coach, and now it's three chefs in the kitchen. If those three chefs are all willing to make it work, and Zoe really is given the authority, I'm with you.
And listen, in the end, it's really two chefs because, come on, man, Blake James might have an opinion, but he doesn't really know what the hell he's doing when it comes to sports. So it's better that and I think that's why this idea of Zoe is being brought in, because they actually, to UM's credit, they probably realize that they don't have a somebody strong enough with a football opinion there.
Right. Well, that's good. I hope they're recognizing it, and I hope they're doing something about it.
All right. So talk to me a little bit about any new news this week recruiting-wise for the Canes.
Well, I mean, we knew this was coming as far as the kicking position, but it's an important position that finally got addressed officially with Jose Borregales, the transfer signing. And it's a really good pickup, a really good story. I actually was talking with one of the local kicking coaches who discovered him, brother Andy. Andy, of course, the class of 2021 kicker, the number one kicker in the country in that class, who's going to be coming in after him. And, Jose's a guy who always wanted to play for the Hurricanes and, ended up signing with FIU because they were the only school to offer him a scholarship. It's such a hard sort of path, as a kicker to get a scholarship nowadays because there's a lot of guys who are pretty good at it. And, I think Miami sort of had this stance where they wanted to go out of state to find kickers. And they didn't really need Borregales at the time. And so, he had to kind of wait his turn. And now it's kind of a cool little story where you're going to have, Borregales, Jose, the graduate transfer kicking, handling all those field goals and being the kicker next year. And you're going to have his little brother, Andy, coming in the year right after to take over. And, talking to the kicking coach, and this is a kid, Jose's a kid now that he told me he feels comfortable making them from 60 to 65, when they're in practice. He's got a really strong leg. He's gotten a lot better over the year. He was 21 of 29 last season at FIU, but made a 53-yarder against Miami, and the kid's confidence is rising. And he's another guy who will probably be an NFL kicker in a year. So it's a really important pickup for Miami to get that finalized, to get him through the doors after everything they went through with the kicking situation last year. And now the focus is offensive line, quarterback, and cornerback. All three of those areas are where you're hearing most of the names, in terms of who Miami is interested. I've talked to a few guys that are obviously involved with the transfer portal that help kids end up at other schools. And, the quarterback position is very important for Miami. They're really trying to get a good graduate transfer quarterback to come in and lead the room so that they can buy Tyler Van Dyke some time and not have to count on Jaron Williams or Nicholas Perry or any of those guys that have let them down in the past. So I think, Derek King is the new hot name everybody got all excited about yesterday, the quarterback from Houston. He's 5'10". He's not very tall, but he is freakishly gifted in terms of athleticism. And when you look at this Rhett Lashley offense and what he might want to run here with Miami, the ability to have a running quarterback, I think, would be really, really huge. I think Lashley's offense is really built around the run and the pass second. It's about, being able to run that read option and having some explosive guys in the backfield. And Miami, obviously, is some really talented incoming freshmen at running back. And this Derek King kid, I think, who's a starter at Houston, would give them that element. More of what you saw when Lashley was at Auburn than he was at SMU. So, but we'll see. We'll see what they end up getting. I know King started following Lashley on social media, I think it was last week. And, there's been conversations, but I think LSU is also showing some interest, especially now they're looking to fill that quarterback need. So we'll see if LSU becomes competition for Miami for Derek King.
Yeah, and you wrote about Garen Justice, the new offensive line coach. Overall,
yeah.
I mean, is this more of just wait and see, or how do you feel about these hires?
It's funny because, we all don't know. I mean, I don't know Garen Justice. I just sort of started to get to know him now a little bit since he got the job over the weekend. But, talking to a couple of his former players, and you can go to theathletic.com and read the story. But I talked to a guy who started from his starting center at UNLV the last 2 seasons, a very smart kid, Sid Acosta, and left tackle who played for him at FAU when, FAU was 11-3 and very, very good. A local kid, Reggie Bain, who played at Miami Central and also wanted to be a Hurricane but didn't get an offer. He's a 4-year starter at FAU at left tackle. And the kid, both of those kids had nothing but really high praise. And the whole point of the article is really what Miami has wanted out of their offensive line coach the last couple of years is not just a guy who can be a teacher and raise the level of confidence of some of these guys, but also bond with them off the field. And I think if there was one criticism of Butch Berry is, look, the guy was a good teacher, and I had a couple of parents and players tell me they learned more with him than they ever did under Stacey Searles. The issue is, he's an NFL guy, and some of these kids need to have that special relationship with their offensive line coach. They need to feel loved. They need to feel like the guy has their best interest at heart. And I think, Butch Berry came in with that NFL mentality. Hey, this is what I'm teaching you. Do you get it? Do you get it? No? Okay, well, I'm only going to worry about the 6 guys who know what they're doing. And that's kind of how this season evolved, where you saw the same 6 guys going out there, and he kind of gave up on the other guys who couldn't pick it up. And that's the way it is in the NFL, right? That's the way NFL coaches are. Like, they're not going to waste their time with guys who can't get it right. They're going to play the best players. And so, but at Miami, where you had 51 sacks given up, you struggled to run the football and ranked 120th on the run, and you've got 18, 19, 20-year-old kids that you're counting on, that you need a little bit more TLC, you need a little bit more relationship. And that's really what this Garen Justice guy is all about. His wife bakes cookies for the players every Friday on their travel day, and she brings the daughter over, and there's this family atmosphere, where the players get to know them, and Coach Justice invites them to his house and takes them out to eat dinner, and it's a real relationship. And I think that kind of stuff nowadays is needed in coaching. I've heard a lot of older coaches who are just kind of old school. They want to do it the old school way. These younger guys, I think, understand, and that's what Garen understands. He was a 3-year starter at West Virginia, played on a Sugar Bowl winning team in 2011. Was a 3-year starter at tackle, and he wasn't just a good player who knows what he's doing. He's also a player who understands what players want in terms of that coach relationship. So I think that's the reason you have to like the Garen Justice hire, because it sounds to me like he's a total package. He's not just a coach who's there to teach the kids and to get a paycheck. He's a guy who really invests his time in relationships, and all of his former players remain very close to him. He texts them, he'll call them, and so I think Miami got a good one here in Garen Justice. This was a very bright, young and upcoming coach at 37.
Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch his work at The Athletic. Manny, before I let you go, tell him about the podcast, my man.
Yeah, you want to make sure you tune into the Wide Right podcast, which we make available on Apple Tunes, and of course, when you get the subscription for $3 or $4 a month, whatever it is now, they got all kinds of sales. But you get the subscription to The Athletic. In addition to everything you get to read that I write and all of our Miami writers write, you get access to the entire website and my podcast, which we'll do 1 to 2 times a week. Right now in the off season, we're kind of limiting it to one. We usually do like a game preview during the season, but we talk about everything on there. And my buddy Kelvin Harris, who was on 3 national championship teams there at Miami, he and I talk quite a bit on there, and have opinions about a lot of the things going on with So if you want more coverage besides these appearances I make here with Big O every week, be sure to check out the Wide Right podcast. It's there for your downloading pleasure.
There you go. And follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch his work at The Athletic and listen to the podcast. Manny, as always, you're a stud, my brother. Thank you for taking some time.
Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it, man. Take care.
You got it, baby. You be good. There you go. The great Manny Navarro with our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. We're going to talk now to Mississippi State quarterback Tommy Stevens. He's going to join us now. I think I'm going to really like this interview with Tommy because he wears a Nirvana shirt. So that alone in itself, he's going to win me over because he's a rock. At least I think he's a rocker, or he's acting like one, sporting a rock shirt, trying to be cool by wearing a rock T-shirt. So which one is it, Tommy Stevens from Mississippi State? Are you acting cool or do you rock? Which one is it? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. There we go now.
We good? Yeah.
Yes.
I've always kind of liked, alternative rock. Nirvana is probably in its own little category, I would say, but I sit around in that area. Sometimes get a little bit heavier, sometimes a little bit softer, but yeah, Nirvana is one of my favorites.
All right, so what's your go-to Nirvana song?
It's kind of hard to get away from Teen Spirit, but Come As You Are is a good one too.
Okay.
Those two are probably my favorites.
Okay, nice. All right, so when you go harder, what is it?
Metallica.
Nice. Yeah. We're going to go to Rockville in Daytona this year. It's in May. And, dude, Metallica is playing 2 of the nights, and both nights, different sets.
Man, it sounds like a good time. You guys got extra tickets?
Yeah, let's go, man. Let's go. We're going to interview them and everything. We'll be doing the show out there and everything. We'll be broadcasting from Rockville this year. So, yeah. Yeah, what a job, right?
Yeah.
I get to interview athletes like yourself and rock stars, huh? That's my job.
Sounds like a hell of a time.
See it there? It says sound check. That's the music show. The Big O show is a regular sports show, and then the sound check is the music show. So there you go. So we'll send you a link when we get Metallic on.
Oh yeah, sounds good.
All right?
I'll definitely get watched.
So we'll have a little fun with it, and we'll have it on YouTube too. So you'll be able to watch it. So who's the other? Have you gravitated to another rocker in the in the locker room, or not a lot of rockers in the locker room right now?
They're slim. No? They're slim, that's for sure. I haven't exactly ventured out either. I've kind of kept to myself as far as the music choices, but yeah. So
talk a little bit, Tommy, about your challenge when it comes to getting to know your teammates, because that obviously has got to be a priority for any quarterback.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's a big piece. Obviously, the quarterback position is going to have to, like you said, gravitate to the teammates and connect in a special way in order to have success. So, luckily for me, it was a trait that was passed down to me by my mom. She's always been able to walk into any room and really talk to anybody that's there, the richest of the rich, the poorest of the poor, and she's always kind of fit in. So I definitely get that from her, and so that's kind of, I guess, the way that I operate.
Talk to me a little bit about your career at Mississippi State. You had your ups, your downs. You kind of fought through a lot of adversity in that Tennessee game, all of that. How's that made you a better person, let's say, before we talk about player?
Yeah, no, I definitely think that.
Wait a minute. Oh, we lost him there. Hold on. Go ahead, Tommy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I definitely think that, really in anything, any aspect of life, nothing really goes exactly how you're expecting it to go. And so definitely just continuing to learn, through the good, through the bad, just learning from every situation is obviously critically important. So you can make the best of the next situation that comes if you're presented a similar task. So definitely was able to learn a lot this year. Learned a lot about myself, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for everything that's been thrown to me and my 23 years of life. So.
Okay, what are you trying to prove this week to folks out there? What's the knock on Tommy Stevens, and you want to show them that knock does not exist?
I think obviously given the season that I just had, I was injured a lot, and so it's gonna be hard to prove that this week that I will be built for the long term, but just gonna do my part and throw the ball and just at the end of the day just play ball, enjoy this last week of practice with the guys and. Who knows what the next step will be, but just very, very thankful for for this opportunity and to be here, man. This is a dream come true for me. So,
when you got the call that you had this opportunity to showcase your talents, talk to me a little bit about that, because this is a great opportunity for not all the players are here, man.
Absolutely.
Here or Senior Bowl or the NFLPA. If you're not in one of these 3 games, you lose out on a huge opportunity.
100%. Yeah, it's very, very special. I remember once I found out, I immediately called my parents and I let them know. I mean, this is something that we wanted to do, and I'm incredibly blessed to have this opportunity.
Who's challenged you the most in your interviews so far?
They've all been relatively the same, I would say, as far as the questions that have been asked. There have been a few like iPad tests, I would say, that have been like tough, or different things on questionnaires by specific teams, but. All in all, it's been good. It's been good to get to know some of these guys and see what they have to offer.
How do they challenge you football wise? Your IQ football wise?
So
give me an example.
So specifically, I did a test yesterday with the Ravens, and it was a test on the iPad, and so it gives you like an image, and so it's a black screen. It gives you an image, and it's fast as a snap of a finger. Like it shows you the image of like a pre-snap look. And you have to be able to identify what look you think that you're going to get from a coverage standpoint. So you've got options. It can either be 2-man, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 6. And when I say snap of a finger, I mean it's there and it's gone. And so
it's a flash.
Yeah. If I remember right, there were 74 different little pre-snap images that I would go through, and was able to go through all those looks and do my best on it.
So. When you're going through that, do you get a sense like they're like trying to fool you in the process?
In a way, but that's just defensive football. Defenses are always trying to mess with the quarterback and give you certain tip-offs to make you think that it's something else, and that's why the whole picture as itself is important, because each guy tells a different story, and at the end of the day, I like to think that they're all on like a bicycle chain. One guy starts coming down, another guy's got to go to center field, and so things like that just go through the all overall pre-snap checklist and be able to see it. Hopefully, I'll have more time to do it in the game than just a snap of a finger.
Yeah. You have about no more than 2.8 seconds on average.
Oh yeah. That'll be enough, because it was a lot faster than that. But just to be able to do those type of things and give yourself idea before the play's even snapped what you're going to see from the defense.
Tommy Stevens, quarterback from Mississippi State, joining us here on the East-West Shrine Game, and we're out here, of course, at the Tradewinds Resort, headquarters for the East-West Shrine Game. Tommy, do you remember the day you said, I want to be a quarterback, and why?
The idea was actually proposed to me by my father at a pretty early age. I remember I was like in either 5th or 6th. I think I was 5th grade. He's like, hey, man, you're going to be a tall guy. So, I was playing running back at the time. He's like, you're not going to be able to play running back forever. And, you're probably going to grow out of the position. I remember being kind of disappointed about it, because at the time I thought that I was a pretty good running back. And so I was not very thrilled by the whole idea of playing quarterback at an early age. I would say, first started throwing the ball as a quarterback, because we ran Navy's offense in high school.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So
not a lot of throwing.
Yeah, but we probably threw it more than those guys. I think I threw it probably 300 times, maybe as a senior.
Wow.
So, we threw it more than I guess the average triple option team would. But I really got my feet, I guess, in the ground as a thrower starting at junior year of high school. So that's why I think that I still have a lot of room to grow. I haven't been playing position for a long time. So I'm excited to continue to evolve as a quarterback.
All right. So you weren't happy. So how did you go about becoming that quarterback? Because if your heart's not in it, That's kind of a challenge, isn't it? Because you made it sound like your heart's in the running, and obviously you're in a contact. The quarterback's got to avoid contact, my brother. Okay, that's why I think Jimmy Garoppolo has made it this far, because he did not challenge anybody this year like he did last year and paid the price. So it's a whole different mindset, dude. How'd you have to rewire yourself?
Well, I guess I became a little less stubborn. I started listening to what people were telling me. I didn't necessarily believe my dad when he said that I was going to be probably 6'3", 6'5" range, and I was able to get on the upper end of 6'4", and I think that I'm done growing. But I tell people all the time, I got to high school as a freshman. I was 5'8".
Yeah, but I saw you hanging over there outside with weights on your. You're still trying to stretch yourself out.
Yeah, man.
That was the old, back in the day, people used to literally hang from poles and then put weights on their ankles.
Yeah.
Because they thought that would stretch out.
Yeah. Yeah. There's the one trick that I did have growing up. Obviously, eating, trying to eat as best as I could. But my dad would come into my room and he would always make sure that my feet were untucked from the blanket. And so it's just something just as subtle as that. I was like, Dad, you're nuts. And
they were untouched. What do you mean?
So
your feet had to be they couldn't be covered?
They could be covered, but as long as the blanket wasn't tucked up underneath, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't, I had
So
room,
you had to have some air come under?
Yeah, I had some room to grow. So he did that with me, he did that with my sister and my brother. My brother's already, he's a freshman in high school, and he's about 6'1". So I don't know if he tried something different, but it's definitely working for him. So.
Wow. Okay. All right. But dude, then you got the draft going on, and you're on a really cold day, I don't know. Do you crank up? I love to crank up the AC. So every part of my body is under those covers. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Damn. So you had to adjust to that too. Were you wearing socks at least?
No, I can't sleep in socks.
No, me neither.
No way.
Me neither. I can't sleep in socks either. But damn, your feet were getting cold then.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, something a little crazy there. He's obviously been a big influence on my life and helped a lot.
What did you learn most from your Tennessee experience when you struggled in that, when you threw the interceptions?
I think that kind of like I was saying earlier, nothing really goes exactly how you expect it to go, and I was coming off being banged up a little bit. I was finally starting to feel right, and because I had the AC separation in week 2 of that year, and if I remember, I think Tennessee was either 4 or 5 of that year. So, I get back into the swing of things. I'm feeling right, and we run like a quarterback inside zone, and just nothing crazy, just subtle, just bang. I just bang the shoulder, and all it comes back, it just starts it flares up, which is natural. I mean, that's kind of what was, I guess, expected of the game, and not to use that as an excuse or anything, but sometimes things like that happen. You start thinking about that. You start thinking about things that you don't need to be thinking about, and bad things happen. So, like I said earlier, bad things happen. It's about how you respond to it. Lucky for me, I was able to have another opportunity later down the road, being able to start in some games and basically get back into where I started the season, and I was incredibly thankful for that, to have that opportunity. And the game was against Arkansas, I believe, and I was able to play well against them. And so,
dude, there's an Arkansas D lineman today.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Damn, he's a good player. He was blowing everything up today, bro.
Strong, plays hard, passionate,
fast.
Oh yeah, he's a good plair.
Wow. What's his name? Because it's not a normal name, dude. It's like my name, Alzigary. It's a really screwed up name. McTelvin Agim or Agim, or I don't know how to pronounce it. I've got to make sure he's not around. He might kick my ass. I don't know, but that dude, boy, that was impressive today, bro. He blew up. I mean, he made some guys not feel good about themselves today on the offensive line.
He plays hard. He's a good dude too. He's
good
guy to be around. Like I said.
Yeah, he's got energy. Yeah, he's got a personality.
Yeah, a lot of personality. That's for sure.
Yeah. Because when a guy, that's Holden. That's Holden. He was like, I was laughing because he's a character. He was talking, but he was backing it up.
You gotta have those too. Those guys are very important.
I don't mind the guy that talks as long as you can back it up.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
That's the one. Because if you can't back it up, what happens to you in the locker room?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
That's where you start losing all credibility and respect and all of that. All right, we'll wrap it up with this. Tommy Stevens from Mississippi State. What convinces you that you will be successful at the next level?
I think that there's been lots of different areas where I've had success. It's just all about consistency. And so continuing to grind. Like I said, we've been playing the position for a relatively short amount of time, so continuing to evolve as a passer, continuing to get more reps under my belt, in any way that I can. I think I'm going to show teams, in this league that I would have a whole lot of value. So, excited for it. Excited to finish off this week strong and get working towards the next chapter of my life.
All right. Any new bands you're listening to?
No, not really. I like to keep it with the old stuff. I did start listening to Motley Crue after that movie came out.
Oh, okay. The Dirt.
Yeah,
wasn't that a fun movie?
Oh, it was fun.
That was a fun movie, man.
Sure. I probably watched it 5 times.
Have you heard Greta Van Fleet?
I've heard it. I haven't really heard.
You need to listen because they're a new band, but they play classic.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah, definitely be on the playlist.
I promise you, you will be rocking with them.
Love that.
You'll have a little highway tune on your way into the game next time on your headphones. All right,
Yep.
Tommy, thank you for taking some time, man. Excellent stuff.
Thanks for having me.
You got it, Tommy Stevens, baby. Way to go, Mississippi State. Appreciate that. All right, welcome back to the beautiful Tradewinds Resort. It's time to talk a little bit about this beautiful resort. Captain Tim is going to join us because I tell you all the time, they've got like 7 pools here. They've got a ginormous beach. They've got a slide that's about 4,000 foot tall. No, that's actually 3 stories, okay? So I don't want to be false advertising here. But it's just a ginormous resort. We got all kinds of things going on, and that's why we've got Captain Tim here, so he can navigate us through this big, beautiful property with all kinds of things. Captain, afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Oh, it's another beautiful day. This is the middle of winter. 80
yes.
degrees. I mean, you got to love Florida.
Yes. No, I mean, come on. This is why we are the envy of everybody out there. And this is why I'm in South Florida. I affectionately call it the 6th borough. Because we got so many New Yorkers down there that they just move over because they get tired of being cold all the time during winter, so they come down to our winter, which is nice and comfortable.
That makes perfect sense. Being from New England, I understand
There you go.
Totally. I came down 30 years ago because I found out I could go fishing every day.
Yes, that's right.
That was
That's right.
just an easy thing to do.
That's right. And your chowder will stay warm here for a little while. Over there, the chowder comes out and in seconds
It's ice.
exposed. That's it. It's ice. That's not fun.
But we got a beautiful property here. We got a lot of things to do. We got an absolutely gorgeous beach.
Yes.
We have our brand new, well, it's a little bit older now, but our Rumfish Grill, where we have our 33,500-gallon aquarium, and you can even go swimming in it if you like.
I have not done that. I've been to the aquarium. I've seen it, but I have not gone swimming yet. Now, Captain, the other thing that I keep suggesting, and I think you guys need to do this, we got to talk to the East West Shrine people. Let's have one practice on the beach.
Oh, I would say yes. That would be a great idea.
Can you imagine the TV shots?
Oh, and then
Man,
just the advertisement all across the country.
plenty of space on that
Yep.
beach.
Oh, yes.
That's what
Lots of room out there.
We're having tongue in cheek, having fun with this, but I say that because you literally could have practice on that beach.
Oh, yes.
It's that big.
Yes.
It's that wide.
Yeah,
It's that huge.
But also, we don't want to hurt the guys before they got their big chance to show
No,
off
of
on
course
a
not.
national audience.
Of course not. No, I know.
That,
As a New England guy, you know Robert Edwards. I get it.
yes.
I get it. I get it. Pro Bowl, beach, knee, gun, history. I got it.
Yeah,
I
and
understand
so
that.
like I
we
say,
definitely don't want that.
No. You prefer not to, and I'm sure they
He's a
do
hell of
too.
a player, by the way.
He was.
Georgia Bulldog, if I remember correctly. Wow, yeah, that was a memory. Unfortunately, you're right about that. All right, so tell the folks, because I've been bragging about this place for years now, and so if people want to come on out, talk a little bit about the amenities here.
Well, you check into the resort. I mean, you got a beautiful lobby. You make your way to the beach. And then all of a sudden now you have everything right there. You get a cabana. You go sit down and relax for a couple minutes. Look at a couple of the brochures. Figure out what you want to do. Have the kids hit the high tide slide, which comes with your amenity pass. Again, the swim with the fish. It's $35. You sign up online. We do it 6 days a week, twice a day. It's a lot of fun. We have jet skis. We have the floating water park. We have cabanas on the water.
Explain to people what the floating water park is, because it's really cool, and they may not really realize how cool a floating water park is.
Well, we need the water temperature to come up on the Gulf a little bit. Hypothermia is not a good thing to have on vacation.
No.
But when it gets warm enough out there, we have these big floating playground, more or less. You get to climb, jump, fall. It's a lot of fun. You get different sessions throughout the day. You sign up, $16, and then you get an hour on the park.
I love it. And they got the paddle boats, too?
They got the paddle boats included with your amenity fee. We got miniature golf, the high tide slide, the surf simulator. It's just a lot of fun.
And by the way, they have a river that runs through the hotel, so you can do the paddle boats and the beautiful swans and the fishes and all that good stuff.
And then that's just the tip of the iceberg. You have all of Pinellas and Clearwater to go play in as well.
That's right.
But you really don't even have to leave the resort. We have our own bar crawl.
Yeah.
Okay, go on out, visit each one of the 5 bars, 1 alcoholic beverage at each bar, 1 food item from any one of the place. Once you get your 6 stamps, you bring your completed passport into the gift shop, where they will give you your very own fashion trendy Tradewinds Bar Crawl t-shirt.
I love that. That's
what a
awesome.
fun way to explore the property.
That is fantastic. Yesterday you had the bar in the right by the river that you had a singer there.
Redbeard Shark Tooth Tavern.
That's right.
I ran that for 12 years. They have nightly entertainment Tuesday through Sunday.
My man was singing
night.
Neil Diamond yesterday.
Yep, and they're all great entertainers. They'll go to about 11 o'clock at night. Full bar. It's a lot of fun.
There you go. A lot of things to do out here at the Tradewinds Resort. 866-JUST-LET-GO. 866-JUST-LET-GO.
Once you get on the website, you can also get into any one of our great packages. Check it out, justletgo.com.
There you go, Captain Tim. Captain, thank you, my brother. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's always a pleasure. The only way this could be better is have you here every week.
Oh, tell me about it. That would be good. Got to bring the wife. Thank you. There you go. Thank you,
Have a
Captain
great
Tim.
day, guys.
Appreciate it. There you go, Captain Tim. Come on out to the Tradewinds Resort. 866-JUST-LET-GO. You see it right there under the mic. You see that little white box on the screen? Right there, under the mic. It's a beautiful thing. Let's tell you a little bit about Toyota of Hollywood. We like talking about Toyota of Hollywood. We love talking about Toyota of Hollywood. They've got some great deals going on. The #1 volume Toyota dealership, 6 years in a row. What are you waiting for, folks? They've got over 1,500 cars and trucks out there, and they'll make your payments up to 2021, 0% financing for 72 months. I mean, we're talking about a facility that is second to none, 400,000 square feet. Great deals. You want a great pre-owned vehicle? How about a 2019 Camry SE, which, no, not 28,000, not 22,000, 17,775. And it all happens at 1841 North State Road 7. It is Toyota of Hollywood. Yes, it is. Live, of course, from the Tradewinds Resort here in St. Pete, headquarters for the East-West Shrine game. We are going to be heading out to the afternoon practices in just a couple of minutes. And remember, you can always reach out to us whenever you're listening to the podcast on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the program. We've had a really good show, man. I thought Michael Walker was excellent. Tommy Stevens was fantastic. We had also Kevin Davidson, the quarterback from Princeton. We've had 2 quarterbacks on today. We'll have a 3rd quarterback today from the West. Actually, we'll have the Utah quarterback joining us, Tyler Huntley. What do you need, dog? You need something? Here you go. Yeah, your mic wasn't on, but that's fine. Anyway, so if you want to let me see what we got here on the YouTube chat board, by the way.
I had it turned down. I was trying to keep the background noise, you know?
Yes. Let's see. What do we have here? Hey, Big O, is it just me, or why does something seem strange about the Caldwell situation? Took leave for medical reasons, no return, now a candidate for other teams. Nothing about being a candidate for Finn's jobs. There isn't the candidate he's for, he can't get the job here. He's not in position for a head coach or even the offensive coordinator because they've got one. So it's more about being kind of an assistant is what it is. Look, man, I'm not going to assume anything. The man had personal issues, and he resolved them. I hope he's fine. If you want to start assuming something personal about information you have no idea about, you go ahead and do that. I'm not doing that. I just wish Jim Caldwell the best, and he should be a head coach in this league. Jim Caldwell is one of the 16 best head coaches in the NFL. The fact that he's not working is insulting. Okay? I mean, the fact that the Lions hire a guy that can't win half his games, okay, can't make the playoffs, and Caldwell had 3 out of 4 winning seasons, that's disgusting. Okay? That's all I can tell you. Forget about being an assistant for the Dolphins. Okay? As a Dolphins fan, I'm glad I hope he stays with the Dolphins because it'll make him better. But if we're going to be honest, Jim Caldwell is supposed to be a head coach in this league. He's proven that over and over again that he should be a head coach. All right? But we all know that in this league, color matters, unfortunately. And it affects you. You're not going to have the same leeway if you're black compared to if you're white. That's the bottom line. They do not treat you equally in this league. That's all. Matt Patricia can't hold a candle to Jim Caldwell, and yet Jim Caldwell is not employed in this league. That's a freaking joke. Those are the facts. And if you win in Detroit, brother, he should be given a Nobel Peace Prize for going 3 out of 4 winning seasons. All right? That was studly what he did in Detroit. He got fired for it. So you talk about assistant, I have more of a problem that Jim Caldwell isn't a head coach in the NFL. Okay? That's the part that you should be looking at. Not worried about what his personal situation is and whether he was taking it off for one reason or another. That's a man of character. Obviously, he had a personal issue. He had a personal issue, and we wish him the best. That's what you have to do. Wish him the best. And whatever he's doing, by the way, if he's out for another job, it's for him to better himself. And we should all support that. That's all. It's really not that difficult. So I wouldn't look too much into that situation. 786-322-1105. Let's see. What do we got here? Mace says, hey, man, proud of you, Big O. Great how you're keeping your weight down. See my avatar, lost 145 pounds in 10 months. Proud of you, big guy. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, Ty, for mentioning that. And, hey, listen, man, I don't know if it's any impressive or anything, but I had to lose the weight. I had no choice. I got 5 stents in my heart. Doc says either lose weight or die. So that's my motivation. I just wanted to stay alive. And so that kept me motivated to kind of keep the weight off. And it's a battle. It's a battle for the rest of my life. That's just the way it is. And a lot of us live in that battle on a consistent basis. Speaking of battles, did you see Chad Johnson? He's trying out for the XFL for the Houston team. He's trying out to be a kicker at 42 years old. Chad Johnson. Okay? Well, this is the guy that did the river dance. That's the kicks. He wanted to try out for a soccer team. Right when he got out of football, he tried out for a soccer team. He practiced with an MLS team for a week. So now Chad Johnson is getting an opportunity in the XFL, and he's going to try out to be a kicker in the XFL. I mean, hey, listen, for a league like the XFL, that's a name. That's publicity. Alone just getting the tryout, the XFL gets publicity from that. So whether he makes it or he doesn't, the league wins because they get some headlines out of it when it's all said and done. You know? And so that part I think is kind of funny. But now, the thing is, can you imagine if Chad Johnson is a successful kicker and makes it on an XFL team, all right, the celebration dances that are going to happen every time he makes a field goal, and the farther it is, that is going to be entertaining. Now, he's always kept himself in pretty good shape. I don't know how good of a kicker he is. That's really the now I would imagine that he's been practicing this thing, because I'm sure he doesn't want to go there and just look absolutely terrible. I think he wants to go there and look somewhat competent as a kicker. But let me tell you, the celebration dances are going to be awesome.
Will he be sporting a Hall of Fame jacket?
It may be. If he makes like a 60-yarder or a 55-yarder, he'll have a Hall of Fame jacket on the sidelines. And Chad will go and celebrate, and he'll have like somebody put on the – and, in the XFL, they'll let him do a little bit more showboating there. You know what I'm saying?
They'll bring a stage and a spotlight, man, so that he could do it.
I mean, I have a hard time believing he's even going to make it as a kicker, but it's funny, and the XFL got a hell of a headline out of it. So they win in that sense. We do want to remind you that the show is proudly brought to you by Pallet Rack City. We all love a great rack. I want you to call Eddie Pereira. And listen, if your business is looking disheveled, okay, if you look like Bill, then you need to kind of straighten things out, right? You don't want boxes all leaning like the Leaning Tower of Pisa and they're about to fall apart. You want everything organized so that way your employees can find everything. Well, call Pallet Rack City. Call Eddie right now, 305-887-9212. They buy and sell new and used pallet racking. It's your one-stop shop for all of your warehouse needs. They've got the largest used racking inventory in South Florida. They also sell used forklifts and dock equipment, and they specialize in knockdown and installations of your warehouse equipment. They also sell pallet jacks, hand trucks, dock boards, and most packaging supplies. Call Pallet Rack City. You want that warehouse to look great? Well, then get the great racks to go with it, man. I love a great rack. You should too. 305-887-9212 for Pallet Rack City. We got to thank, of course, Bill. Excellent work by you. We thank Manny Navarro also for joining us, John Cassio. We thank all of you for tuning in. As always, we're going to be back after the second practice in the afternoon, probably around 5 to 7. We'll have more interviews, more players, all of that here on the program as we continue coverage of the 2020 East-West Shrine Game live from the Tradewinds Resort. Be good out there.